hard driving these cars. It's so hard. I can't reiterate enough, at the end of 1,000 kilometres, to have to do qualifying laps, lap on lap on lap on lap to win the race is extraordinary.
There's still a long way to go. You know, there's still a lot of laps to unfold here. This is not a... Oh, no, more trouble for car number 23, Tim Blanchard in the wall. This is another safety car.
What's that do?
Oh, man.
Can they make it? Do you come in?
Well, remember I said to you earlier that
you did.
If we haven't been getting big, long, clean stints, and so if we did get this other safety car intervention, how does that play?
Well, what do? Do you come in straight away?
Track positions.
Do you stay it out there?
Well, track position's the key at the moment. Oh, look, he's gone in very hard, Blanchard. He's had no chance of stopping that. He was still in the third gear approach phase of that corner. That's 190 kilometres an hour. He would have taken a little bit of pace off before he got there, but not much.
I've got an ice cream headache after that. I don't know what you do now. I don't know. I don't know how close they are, whether you can get away with this or not. He hasn't slowed down one bit. These are the catch-up flags in full flight. You can see him now going for it.
And right between the FPR and the 888 pit, and boys are all out here. They're ready to go. They're ready to field. This is where you need experience. This is when you're going to be able to look at that shunt and know how long is the safety car going to be out here for. 2 laps, 4 laps, 6 laps. That's what'll make the difference.
The reason Van Gisbergen's going like a blur is we're expecting that he may well come in, trying to monitor his radio, and that way he minimises the damage. So they're going to try and, I reckon, sneak him in. That's why they said to him, stay with it.
Well, I think by the body language of these two cars, Neil, they're all doing it. I'm sure they're all coming in. But what do you do if you're Frosty? Will it make it home? How long will the safety car be out there?
Yeah, look, yeah, so they're only just deploying the safety car now. There's a protocol, and there it is in the background. You can see it exiting pit lane. So Red Bull are ready. Ford Performance Racing are ready. Here is the race leader, Shane Van Gisbergen. He's got a margin of 12 seconds. They're going to squeak him in here. Let's watch and listen. He's going to drive the wheels off this thing to get it in here. They just need a squirt of fuel. He wants to hold position. It's track position he's chasing with fuel.
Will he do tyres? Will he do tyres?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Let's just check. Here, look at that. That's out of control. Lowndes and Mostert.
Lowndes was off the road.
He was 23 seconds in the lead to Winterbottom. 23 seconds, Van Gisbergen to Winterbottom. Let's check this.
Now, what's going to happen here is these guys will be racy. They'll be racy, but Winterbottom then is the one that's got to conserve. Oh, stalled it! 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. This is murdering Shane Van Gisbergen. You're kidding me. He's not a factor now. He's not a factor.
He's gone.
That is working all day long. After 7 hours and 30 minutes, the race leader can't get car number 97 working. He cannot start it. And Craig Lowndes has got the squirt of fuel.
Won't go. The car stands under the car.
So what happened was he popped the clutch, it stalled, and they can't start this car. Winterbottom is the leader. And he's fuel compromised.
Yeah, so they can't get Shane's car started. They're asking for the stands under the car to put it back into the garage, but they are still working on it at the moment in the lane, as you can see. This is a disaster for Techno Autosports after such a long day.
Unbelievable. So Whincup and Winterbottom are fuel compromised. They lead the race. A bobbled departure for Van Gisbergen. Meantime, medical intervention up there for Tim Blanchard just to make sure he's okay. They're going to get that car number 23 away. Here is Van Gisbergen.
They're hitting it with a hammer under there because they can't get the Bendix. So when you go to start it, check this, Whincup. Whincup off the road. That's what's let Winterbottom by. He's made a massive mistake. He's made a massive mistake. We're on board.
Gee, he's been surfing the edge today, hasn't he? Jamie Whincup. Unbelievable. And there goes his key rival. They've had incredible battles together over the years. And if you're a risk assessor and you're risk assessing Jamie Whincup today, man, he just lost his no-claim bonus because he is starting to be a spooky prospect at the moment. He's been driving so hard to try and make lap speed. We've seen errors that we've never seen before from him here.
He had 10 seconds over Winterbottom before that. So that in that phase of the race, he backed off more. He then made that mistake. Winterbottom is by. He's still in some fuel drama in terms of whether the consumption will get him home. Will his economy be good enough to get him home? But check this out. This is just tragic. He made the most simple mistake. He just stalled the car, leaving the pit bay. He then could not restart the car because the starter motor won't engage. And he's out of the car after one of the great drives. A superb pole position yesterday. His first pole position ever. You've got to put your hands together for this young Kiwi. He's an extraordinary talent, Rihanna.
Shane. Clearly Shane's heartbroken at the moment, and Jonathan Webb has also left the garage. Such a disappointing way to end such a big race.
Incredible. That's his dad, Robert. 7.5 hours of hard work.
Yeah.
And no result. But if there's an upside, and he has shown today what unbelievable speed and competitiveness he and that team have got.
You know what that looks like? It looks like Glenn Seaton in 1995 with his dad, Barry.
Yeah.
They were so close to winning the race, and that is just so cruel. It is an extraordinary sport sometimes to have applied that effort, to have gone as fast, to have driven so well, and to make the simplest mistake. It's extraordinary.
The other thing about the Whincup off at turn 1, that had to be under yellow because they were probably trying to get back on the train. So that even amplifies that, as it just goes to show how hard they're all having to push at the moment. So there it is, the Techno Autosports Holden Commodore back in the garage. There's Steve Hallam, who was in tears when he saw his man grab a pole position here. And they're peeling car number 8 off the racetrack as well. Remember, they had a tough day and lost laps. They're 3 down on the lead. Jason Bright's 15th at the moment. We get points for that. So,
you know what it does? Lowndes and Mostert are going to make it home because they've been topped up. They are now right behind Whincup and Winterbottom, who Winterbottom must conserve. He must. He's got to conserve. So in terms of outright pace, it's still going to look like Lowndes with real race pace in the closing part of this event.
Oh, mate, it ain't over yet. I'm just hearing down here now, if Whincup looks like he's not going to be able to make it on fuel as he gets closer, he'll let Lowndes go by. And then it'll be game on because Lowndes will be racy. Whincup will still be conserving. FPR are watching very, very closely that rescue of that car up there. They need as many laps under safety car as they can here so he can go like gangbusters. And I can tell you what, it was lucky for Winterbottom that did happen to Shane Van Gisbergen because Jamie Whincup held up Mark Winterbottom all the way over when the safety car boards went out over the top of the mountain, and a clearly agitated Tim Edwards down here at Ford Performance Racing didn't like it at all. So that little gap that he was maintaining to Van Gisbergen may not have been that gap. So, wow.
Thanks, Larko. This is what I wanted to see because depending on where they're at with this recovery influences how many more laps we'll get of safety car. And I noticed the race director has slowed the safety car right down. So we're not far away from clearing this scene, and they need to make sure at Cam's Race Control that the track is clear up there. And then we sprint to the end of this, a 161-lap race. There's Tim Schenken. Steve Priest is on his right. On his left is Jason Bargwanna. Here's the reason why. Tim Blanchard, heavy contact with the wall at the cutting. Just on the exit of turn 3, before you get to that left-hander, it's a blind corner. Can't see round.
That looked like the throttle jammed. That just went in so fast, so straight. On board now with the series champion, the current leader. Right, he was so close to going in the wall, Neil. That is so lucky, not only to get away with that, but look, he's right out through the sand trap, onto the grass, and normally if you make the grass, you make the fence.
Grant McPherson. I'm going to tune his radio in so I can hear what he's saying.
The extraordinary part for me now is what is the Mark Winterbottom position for fuel? What happens? How much has he got left? If he can sprint properly, we know he's fast.
What he does have is track position. Shane Van Gisbergen's back in that car, and he can still be classified, he can still get points. It's a starter motor failure. We've seen several of them this weekend. We saw a starter motor change for Michael Caruso that influenced his run in the qualifying on Friday. We saw it for Scotty McLaughlin as well. They did that in that extended red flag and suspended period of the race earlier in the day. Now we're seeing one for Shane Van Gisbergen, who must be wondering what on earth has happened to him.
Don't discount, do not discount Chaz Mostert. Chaz Mostert has been the fastest man today. He broke the lap record on lap 148. He was, before that safety car, the man on a mission. He was catching Lowndes. He's right behind him. We know he's right for fuel. So Lowndes and Mostert are right for fuel. Winterbottom and Whincup, who knows?
Safety car is 80.
Now, here's the car was running, and that's really weird. So he actually was running, he launched, and then it stalled, and then something's gone awry with the starter motor at that point, and Jonathan Webb distraught, co-driver. Cannot believe it. The time, the money, the investment, the hard work. We're going to get a restart this time round, I understand. So I heard the voice of Tim Schenken from race control there a moment ago, quickly down to Larko.
Say when, yep.
Lucko.
Yeah, see that guy on camera there? That's Grant McPherson, Chippy, he's known as. He's Mark Winterbottom's engineer, and for me, he's going to be man of the match here today if they pull this off, because it was him that made the call to drag Winterbottom back in on that safety car when a lot of others didn't. Now, he had to do a lot of really quick calcs to pull that one off, and he may well just do it. They're not there yet, but if he does, for me, there's your man of the match right there.
I agree, Lucko. That was the call of the race. If he can get home from here with enough fuel to sprint, the other guys can sprint.
Okay, I said at the beginning of the race, shuffle up to the edge of your seat. Suggest it's a good idea to do that again, because it's on. In the closing stages of the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 of 2014, and this is high stakes poker. Mark Winterbottom leads the field. From Jamie Whincup, from Craig Lowndes, from Chaz Mostert, from Will Davison, from Rick Kelly, James Moffat, Andre Heimgartner, Todd Kelly and Nick Percat. That's your 10. But the focus is going to be on these first 4 or 5 heavyweights. They are playing for keeps here. They're playing for the greatest prize in Australian motorsport, and 300 points. 2 of them are fuel compromised, we think, inverteds, and the others have released themselves from that problem. But what have they all got? What's their tyre condition? What is the balance of the cars? The track will be coming to them. The shade is now appearing in various places around this racetrack, so it's going to be quick. And this is an unbelievable arm wrestle between 2 old foes, Winterbottom and Whincup, at the top of the mountain.
This was the battle last year. Factory Ford versus Factory Holden. Whincup versus Winterbottom. They're currently leading. The same circumstance we saw last year. Oh, massive moment for Lowndes. He was right out and almost crashed there. Mostert right up behind him. That was absolutely out of control. 220 kilometres an hour in rallycross mode.
Lowndes nearly binned that on the exit of McPhillamy. He wrestles it back and it's loose at the rear. They've not been good on their restarts on several occasions in car 888. That was a move there for James Moffat, a critical one. He puts a move on Will Davison. It's a little air gap now for Winterbottom. What have they got in reserve? Do they have enough fuel? 300 kilometres an hour. Frosty's trying to go back to back. Whincup's done it before. They've got a little gap over Lowndes, who frightened everybody up at the top. Todd Kelly, he's in a battle there. Look at this. Whincup down the inside. He's got the thing chirping on the rear brake. And Whincup goes to the lead. They're on for the crisscross. Jamie Whincup is the leader of the race. It's now Holden from Ford as they roar down There's going to be emotion attached to this one. That is going to erupt in an absolute brawl in this paddock. Unbelievable circumstances to close out this race, and it is not done yet. Van Gisbergen is back in the motor race. What a great thing to see.
Now, Lowndes didn't mean to turn him around then. Whincup got wide. Winterbottom got wide. Had too much wheel spin. When he was rejoining, it was just slightly slower, and Lowndes caught the back. Oh, spin for Perkins late. We've seen so much action up here at the cutting over the weekend. And Jack Perkins, who was going so well. Let's have a look at the replay. So a massive dive. Down the inside goes Whincup. Gets it done. The crisscross for Winterbottom. He tries to get back there. He can't. He moves it over. He shifts across. He then shifts back. He wants to optimise his line to get onto Mountain Straight. He turns it in. Mark Winterbottom makes a mistake. He gets wide. And Lowndes, who was on a run, he wanted to get the run. He'll be caught for that.
He's a big chance for a penalty, Craig Lowndes, for that one.
I
He's
agree.
a big chance for a penalty. And you can see how frustrated they are inside the garage at Ford Performance Racing. And equal amounts of emotion inside Red Bull. Can you believe that? Race Control's going to have to make a really tough decision here. Do they look at it later, or do they nick him now?
Yeah, I agree. He didn't mean to make contact.
Just a reminder, we are staying with the finish of this race. It's incredible. But for viewers of Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia, 7 News is coming up straight after race finish. This is amazing.
Jamie Whincup has still got control of this race by just over 1 second from Chaz Mostert.
Remember, he started at the back. What an unbelievable story of the day. He started on the last row. In the first stint of the race, he come from the last row on the grid to lead the race. He's forged his way forward all day. He's taken huge risks. He's made a couple of mistakes in recent times. He almost crashed at turn 1 in the safety car period under yellow flags, but he's got away with it. He's currently leading. We don't know his fuel position, but we know Mostert and Lowndes can chase. Lowndes with a cloud over his finish based on the contact with Mark Winterbottom.
This is Frosty. He's dropped down now to 9th position. Unbelievable to see that kind of stuff happening so late in the race. And there's always been needle between Red Bull and Ford Performance Racing. Well, that just went up another notch. So it's 1.19 seconds, Whincup to Mostert. Black flag, pit lane drive-through penalty for Craig Lowndes. Lowndes is out of it. Team manager Mark Dutton, engineer Jeremy Moore, they've got to pass the message on to Lowndes.
Oh, how is that? But what it does, Neil, it puts James Moffat on the podium. Nissan Motor Company, 2nd year back in this sport. It puts them back onto the podium. Again, after an unbelievable day for Car 360. They've been in the fence twice at turn 2. But how's Lowndes? Look at the reaction in the Red Bull garage. He didn't mean to make that contact. Craig Lowndes he never fires people off for no reason. He didn't mean to do it, but he did do it. It was outside the regulations. It was on the exit of the corner. It spun Mark Winterbottom around, and he is going to get a pit lane drive-through penalty with 5 laps to go in this race. Unbelievable.
We'll check the margin for you as Lowndes comes in for his penalty between Whincup and Mostert. It was 1.5 seconds. It's still 1.5 seconds. Whincup won this race with Lowndes 3 times and then won it in an amazing battle in 2012 with Paul Dumbrell defeating David Reynolds. He's on target to do it again with huge question marks over the fuel in this car that leads. Look how tight this thing is. We've been running now for 7 hours, 46 minutes and 27 seconds, and it's still intense. At the end of the day, the shadows are long. It's Whincup, it's Mostert, it's Moffat, it's Davison, it's Percat.
Yeah, and I just had a quick chat to Paul Dumbrell. He said it's 2012 all over again. He does not know if this car will make it to the end of the race.
It's unbelievable. And look at the fellas down there at the Norton Hornets garage for Nissan Motorsport. If they can get James Moffat back in this game and up on the podium after a topsy-turvy weekend, that's a remarkable performance. Remember, that car found the wall twice at turn 2 today.
You are looking at history. If he can make it home, it is the lowest qualifying position to ever win the race. Peter Brock won in 1987 when he started 19th. He started today, Jamie Whincup, 23rd on the grid. He was on the back row. If he gets home, he's only led today, Croppo, he's only led 4 laps in the whole race. And to lead at the pointy end of this race, and to possibly, saying possibly, big question mark, inverted commas on that one, he may be able, that's David Cauchi, saying, we need a little bit of fuel, please, man. He's got to get the fuel consumption right and drive the car to the number, because if he runs out of fuel, Chaz Mostert will win this race.
Together with Paul Morris. And if they slip up at all at Red Bull, then that's going to be a big story for Mostert. One of the youngest guys in the race, one of the least experienced at Mount Panorama, together with one of the most experienced. So also inside the top 10 for Nissan includes Rick Kelly and Todd Kelly, 8th and 9th. There's a lot going on in the radio in the background here at the moment. People are boxing on to the very last lap of this race. Personal best for Whincup, that lap was a 2 minutes 7.7. There's a new lap record that's been set by Mostert, 2 minutes 7.4. Percat did a personal best on that lap at 2 minute 8.5. And the margin now is 1 3/4 seconds between Whincup and Mostert. He's not backing away from it at the moment, Whincup. He's showing no sign of requiring to conserve fuel, despite what David Cauchi said. Listen to the front tyres on the Ford. They're just chattering across the road at the cutting. Slide by Whincup. He's got nothing left. This is a qualifying lap. He's squeezing every last 10. He's got nothing left. Everybody in the paddock's got nothing left. They've given their all today. This has been a remarkable motor race. A range of precedents set, new lap records, races suspended, a string of incidents involving 10 safety cars today. We've been running for 7 hours and 49 minutes, and Whincup has got control by 1.66 seconds. For the last 4 years, this thing's been won by half a second or less.
And make no mistake, lads, Chaz Mostert is pushing that car as hard as he can, because he knows his best chance is to push Jamie, make Jamie use fuel, make him use fuel.
Oh, how's that moment there? That's 195 kilometres an hour on the exit of there, right out sideways. We've seen so many cars crash there over the course of the weekend of the last couple of years, and he just got away with it.
This is Winterbottom attacking Percat, trying to find every last point and position that he can at the moment. You imagine the emotion that he's got at the moment, but he's got to stay focused, and that's what he's doing. He's trying everything to claw back here. Larko.
Dutto, I have to ask you the question, mate. Everyone wants to know, millions of them, can you make it? Yep. Yeah? Love your confidence. That's all we needed to hear.
Mark Dutton, team manager, Red Bull Racing, formerly the engineer for Jamie Whincup. Dave Cauchi's got that role now, and he just told Jamie, I want you to conserve fuel. There's Taz Douglas. He's on for a podium. What a result that would be for his short main game V8 supercar career. Look at this. Frosty up on the outside of Percat. They're going to argue all the way over the hump in the braking area to turn 2. Frosty's in an awkward spot. A very awkward spot out wide, but he's got to play for keeps. And he is. They touch. And Percat emerges on the other side, still in control. It's Whincup, Mostert, Moffat, Davison, Winterbottom, Percat, Heimgartner's an outstanding performance. And then the Kelly brothers, Todd and Rick. Fabian Coulthard is 10th. And the margin, 2.5 seconds between Whincup and Mostert. Still no blink from Whincup.
Oh, this is brave, Neil. Right at the end of the race, we've seen the number of cars today that have made contact with the fence. There's Renee with one eye closed saying, wow, that's pretty high risk in terms of that manoeuvre, but he got away with it. And they've taken huge risks today. I haven't seen a race at this distance over the many years with as many risks taken by the lead guys. They have been so bold and so committed.
We have 3 seconds to car behind. I need as much fuel as possible, mate, now. It's all going to help us. We're marginal.
So that's starting to get urgent, that message. He's got a gap. He needs to roll out a little bit. His best lap of the race, Mark, was a 2 minutes 7.7. His last lap was a 2 minutes 7.8. He's within a tenth of a second of the best speed he's achieved all day long. He's pushing the wheels off the Red Bull Commodore at the moment. But the big question mark is whether he can make it home. They're begging him, save fuel. Save fuel. Give us something to play with here. He's got the head down. The margin's gone out. It's 2.98 seconds. No, it's 3.02 now. It keeps seesawing in the micro sectors. Mostert tries to throw everything he's got at him. It's 3 laps to go. And another urgent call to Whincup. Save fuel. Please save fuel now. They're begging him.
That was a big moment for Mostert, Neil, on the exit of McPhillamy Park. We saw Lowndes make a big mistake there before, but wow, that's close. Some of the most historic moments, some of the best names have crashed at McPhillamy Park, and that was one that was really close. 200 kilometres an hour, 4 wheels in the grass.
20 seconds, covers 1st to 9th at the moment. Yes, there's been safety car interventions, but these guys at the moment are squeezing out qualifying and lap record speed and performance at the back end of this race. Not a single person is left. They're glued to this all around the mountain. We hope you're enjoying the show too. We're going to give you every last little second that we can before we go to our news commitments around the country. Whincup has a margin. He just squeezed another tenth of a second. At what point does he call it quits? At what point does he try and save the last drop of this ethanol fuel? Here's Mostert. It's Holden versus Ford versus Nissan 1, 2 and 3. A big story today if Nissan can get up there on the podium with a car that's battered and bruised in the hands of James Moffat.
Mostert's taken a little bit of ground. He got back to 2.6 then. It's leaked back out again to...
So Dave Cauchi, he's saying, mate, we've got 3 seconds. He's almost screaming at him now in my right ear, saying, conserve. We're going to end up in the pot, which means he's in reserve. Once he gets there, he's got to be seriously careful. They're using fuel at the rate of around about 4.5 to 4.7 litres per lap. Why is Whincup continuing to hold that margin? Can he hear them?
Well, is there a radio drama? Because he hasn't responded. He's still going as fast. He's just done a 7.9. He did a 7.7, a 7.8 and a 7.9. Mostert's done a 7.8. I'm not sure whether he's actually listening to this.
Well, Mark Cauchi's just been told by Dutton, maximum fuel conservation. The fuel guys have just been told, get out and get ready, get out and get ready.
We're not going to make it.
They're not going to make it. They're in the fuel pot, mate. They're in reserve.
Jade, I'm not joking. You're not going to finish if you don't conserve maximum. We're talking maximum minus 100.
I don't think he can hear them. I'm sure there must be something wrong. Is his earpiece out? Paul Dumbrell can't believe it. This has continued to escalate. I haven't heard him respond, and I've got him tuned on my radio at the moment. Whincup has been told over and over and over again, back off.
And the protocol always with Jamie Whincup is he always goes back and says copy. He hasn't said copy at all. I'm not sure whether they can hear at all on this. In fact, it's escalated out of David Cauchi's hands.
Enough fuel for 1 lap, and you've got a lap and a half to do. Copy that.
Focus on his earpieces. They are plugged in. I can see he's plugged in.
He copied then. He copied then. He pressed the button, the radio button. He said copy. Mark Dutton just said.
1.8 now. Keep using it. Keep using it now. Use as much as you can now.
So he just said, you've got 1.5 laps to go. You've only got 1 lap of fuel left. Copy. And he went bang on the radio. He understood the message. He hasn't understood in terms of pace.
Save all fuel at this stage. We're not going to make it. I need you maximum save. You've got 2 seconds to car behind. Maximum save, mate. We're not going to make it. We're just going to have to chance it.
They'll have very accurate fuel burn data. They'll know exactly what they're looking at Red Bull. They don't leave anything on the table. He's in trouble. He's going to lose the lead of this motor race on these numbers.
1.4. 1.4, the second gap now. Way back from 3. He has responded now.
I don't understand why it took so long. Anyway, you're getting your money's worth today, folks. Look at this. This might be the biggest moment of Chaz Mostert's career, and for Paul Morris, who's had a win here in the 12 hour, and he's done a lot of things over a long period of time. On his 22nd start, he might win this thing. It's only the second start for Mostert. These guys are going to have an unbelievable duke out in the dying moments of this race. We've got less than 6 kilometres to run. It's an unbelievable storyline. Whincup is out of fuel. He's really struggling to get this thing home. Mostert is going to throw everything he's got at it, but he's got to be a bit careful. He can't throw it in the weeds.
He was just told, use it down the hill. We've got to be able to conserve the fuel down the hill so you can go down to the chase on full speed. Look at this. This is a battle for Australia's biggest race. Whincup is conserving fuel. Mostert is totally fine.
He's in trouble. He's got to be in trouble. Can he redeem this? I very much doubt it. He's just got to find a gap now, Mostert. This is for the Bathurst 1000 victory. And Mostert tries to go around the outside at McPhillamy. There's no space there. He tries to do it at Skyline. There's no space there either. Now he's just got to hold station because it's a one-line groove down through the dipper and on the run towards the elbow. This is off the scale. Off the scale as Whincup does everything he can. He had a 3-second margin. He blocks down the inside because he can. He comes away and another whack. And Mostert goes through on the inside. This is huge in Australian motorsport. They've gone berserk at Ford Performance Racing. This kid is going to win this thing today, and so is Paul Morris.
Has not led a lap all day, Croppo. Not led a lap. Chaz Mostert is going to win with Paul Morris. Extraordinary motor race. Something you have never seen before.
We are approaching the 8th hour of the 2014 Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000, and Chaz Mostert, who's had 21 V8 Supercar events and 56 previous races, is going to make a very special name in history here. He is the winner of the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000. Moffat second for James Moffat. And Nick Percat makes it onto the podium. I'm out of breath. It's an unbelievable outcome. Davison fourth, then Whincup, then Winterbottom, then the Kellys, Todd and Rick, then Coulthard, and Craig Lowndes finishes in 10th. Genuinely unbelievable, Mark Beretta.
Unbelievable, Neil. Now, viewers in Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia, you are going to 7 News. If you want to stay with us at the mountain, go to 7 Mate now. Go across to 7 Mate to stay with the Bathurst 1000. If not, stay where you are for 7 News, which is coming up right now on the 7 Network around Australia. Thanks for your company.
I'm just seriously out of words. I don't know how to describe what we're seeing here. Jamie Whincup has driven the wheels of it.
You know what, it makes a lot to make this man cry. What a race. Paul Morris, winner Bathurst 1000. Doesn't get any better than that.
Mate, this joint's been beat me up for years. And Chaz just carried my old ass around here all day, man. What an unbelievable ride by him.